Hello and welcome everyone to today's News Tonight, the weeknight news show where we're joined by special guests and our lovely patrons to discuss the day's gaming news. I'm your host. Wait a second. I'm actually not on screen. Hold on. I need to fix this. Let me just change that on right now. Much better. Welcome everyone to today's News Tonight.
Whoa, where's Derek?
I am joined by my good friends and GVG co-founders Ash Polson and Steve Bowling, and you might know the different hair going on right now. Any guesses to why I'm wearing this?
Man, when you said you had a surprise.
Like a dragon. That is Ichiban's
Thank you.
hair.
Oh, nice. It is Ichiban.
Have a clue right there.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I don't have Yakuza 7 on disc, but I was very kindly reached out to by Sega with a PS5 copy of Like a Dragon, so I now have that. And along with it, they were like, hey, we want to send you something physical, but it's cosplay related, but we don't want to say what it is. So they sent me Ichiban's hair, Ichiban's necklace, and even though there's no way for it to get actually over this, Ichiban's hat. So that it's just not going to work.
I love it
at all.
That is so awesome.
So they as part of their thing, they wanted to ask like, hey, where this is part of a social media post or as some sort of little video and whatnot, just to get the word out there about Yakuza 7, which from everything I've been told and heard, the game is freaking amazing. I don't know why that wouldn't be any different on the PS5. Obviously I have a lot of the Yakuza series to get through. But yeah, I was like, well, I have TNT, so let's do this.
That's awesome. I still can't wait to play Yakuza 7. I have the PS4 version that now that I can upgrade to the PS5 version. And I just need time to sit down and play it. But I want that hair. That's cool. I love it.
Yeah, that is really cool.
I just let it grow. And
my guesses before we started were that you said you had a surprise for us. I'm like, okay, either you got a mohawk or you're going to be wearing a Mega Man bikini or something. I'm not sure. And Steve said a Mega Man kini. So I just wasn't sure. But clearly I was wrong either way.
Yeah. It's hard to wait to really go how it was. Say how it was all going to go, but I'm happy with the results, and it's never wore a wig before, so this thing is thick. There's a lot of hair here. It's pretty crazy.
How does Amy like it? Is this your new style now?
She was cracking up. So
nice.
That's something here. I was looking through my outfits, just seeing if I could match like the clothes for Ichiban as well, but unfortunately, I can't rock his style completely. So
nice.
Such is the way. But yeah, Scuff. I'm gonna try to wear. I'm gonna be wearing this the whole time. I bet I might be miserable by the end, but I'm gonna do it.
Classy Mudkip with a good idea. Mega Man Bikini. That's a higher Patreon tier. I like that. You're business minded, Classy Mudkip. So that could maybe still happen. Just lock behind a higher Patreon tier.
We need to start manufacturing that ourselves.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. But yes, welcome everyone, and how have you two been since Monday's episode?
Oh, hanging in there. Nothing's really changed in the past couple of days. I'm still slowly chipping away at The Last of Us Part 2 in terms of the very little free gaming time I get right now. Still chipping away at that. And I was telling Steve, without spoilers, I almost don't want to finish it because I know where it's going now. And I'm toward what I think is the very end of the game.
You are.
And I thought so. And I'm just like, I don't want to finish it because I know where it's going, and it just makes me sick to my stomach to think about what I'm going to have to do and watch and see. And I hate it. This game sucks. 0 out of 10. Nah.
It's like Old Yeller. You just got to put her down, Ash.
I'm just going to have to just grit my teeth and bear it because it's.
I like how
I wish I could say something, but I can't.
I like how Derek weaves a dog killing joke into
That's
his
true. Good point.
that Ash finished The Last of Us Part 2. not to twist the proverbial knife that is also in a dog apparently in this scenario.
Right.
I got to get more Ichiban in here. Like play Dragon Quest.
There we go.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh gosh. What about you, Steve? Anything new?
I've been good. It's been nice being home. For those of you that don't know, I took a week off my day job just to kind of relax, take a mental health break. So I'm technically still on vacation, even though I'm back home. I spent a lot of time with my kids. You know, between full-time job and GVG, which can at times be almost another full-time job. You know, it's nice to just take some time off, go outside, you know, and spend time with my family during hours that I normally am not available. So I've been enjoying that a lot. And I've been playing a little bit, you know, I'm fortunate in the sense that we're kind of in a lull. So what I've been doing with my spare time is trying to develop out ideas I have for the channel, you know, just kind of sit downstairs with my laptop and a coffee and just, you know, sketch out things that I'd like to do here, which is, again, a luxury that we don't have all the time. Like, you know, to just sit down and take your time and think through something, because there's always the next thing to cover, the next news story, the next review, whatever it is. So I've taken some of my free time and just kind of sketched out some ideas I have that hopefully will become something, but we'll find out. Other than that, just chilling, man. And it feels really nice to get some R&R.
Yeah. I'm doing a lot of catching up on, since I finally finished the Persona 5 Strikers review, which is, you know, was like, oh god, I'm just trying to get that out as soon as I can. And it's definitely not as long as a regular Persona 5 game, or, you know, Persona game, but, you know, kid, it's a little trickier to manage all of that. But now that that's finished, I have my own unique series that I want to get to. But before that, I got to finish off one bit of business. I do have a Patreon request review that I want to get done. So I've started playing that game, and I just early impressions. For knowing nothing about it, it's kind of cool.
Nice.
I don't know how I'll come out on it on the end, but I'm definitely like, okay, this is not going to be torturous. That's good. That's good, because you never know what people are going to send you. But I had a feeling it was going to be pretty decent. And otherwise, just continue to work on my the whole Final Fantasy 14 and Road to Endwalker thing, which I think I'm close to finishing up the storyline in the opening city, because you start in one of three different cities based on which class you choose. And meanwhile, Amy has finished the 2.0 storyline. So basically the core Realm Reborn. Dang. She is blowing through this game. She is addicted, and it is amazing to see. I'm so jealous of her because I'm seeing all the crazy and cool crap she's doing. And I'm like, all right, I'm talking to this guy. Okay, you want me to check on this guy who's afraid of heights and up on a high place? That's fun. Okay, let's talk to this guy. And just, you know, I'm getting the basic stuff. Meanwhile, she's in an 8-person party going through storyline specific stuff, taking on these big things. I'm like, oh my god. And then now she's completed that main bit. She has flying mounts. I'm like, man, I want a flying mount. That makes it so much faster.
Queen over here.
I know. The crazy thing is she's still so far from actually catching up to the main story.
Right.
Because I believe the way it's laid out is that you get 2.0 is the new, the next expansion, for lack of a better word. So Realm Reborn is 2.0. And then I think it's Heaven's Ward. It was the next one was like 3.0, 4.0, 5.0, so forth. So Evan Walker will be 6.0. But they add more story with the 0.1. So 2.1, there's more stuff. And I think it goes to 2.5. So once they get to close to 2.5, that's when you're like, oh, okay, expansion is coming. So just to give an idea of how that kind of works. Needless to say, I'm jealous and working on that. But after that, I'm hoping to work on my own unique series for GVG, which should be pretty easy considering I looked at March's release schedule. There's nothing until Balan Wonderworld. Which it's funny, we get Balan Wonderworld, Monster Hunter Rise, and I think like Story of Seasons, Pioneer Town. There's like nothing, and I'm not even interested in most of those games. So.
Yeah.
Well, I think what we need to do is figure out a way to make Joseph Bayer's suggestion here in the chat a reality. We should figure out a way to automate the TNT editing process to save you guys some time. Dude, if there is a way we could do that, if there is the way that the editing could edit itself and the back-end stuff could back-end itself, which didn't sound good coming out. I know we would absolutely love that. Unfortunately, though, don't know if there are any video editors out there who just edit videos automatically. I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
For free.
I think
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing. We've got to keep budget in mind.
Right.
Yeah, the closest we could ever get to that is building all the stuff we edit into the Discord, or into the Discord call or into OBS. But that would be really hard. And plus the audio, we have issues sometimes where the audio quality on Discord just sucks, and so we have to replace it, which is why we all record. One thing I want to point out, since we were talking about kind of our plans and things we have going this month, thanks to the generosity of y'all. Each one of us was able to get one of these, and this is my nails are painted. I have daughters. Don't think too much about it. But anyway, we got these. These are teleprompters. When we had Spawnwave on TNT, he recommended these to us because we were talking about that we didn't really know what a good prompter was. So thanks to y'all, each one of us has one of these or has ordered one of these, and it'll help out so much with scripted content, which is definitely a challenge because you don't want to be looking down at something. So I'm hoping that for one of those ideas I mentioned I was sketching out, that this will come in handy. I know that for the idea Derek's working on, one of these will really help. And
I haven't ordered mine yet, but I'm going to.
And I know that Ash is also working on reviving a series that started on this channel, which could also probably benefit from that. So hopefully hopefully we'll have more to show, but we're getting there, and it's thanks to all the support you guys give us. Every little bit helps, and I just want to tell you all how much I love you for helping us make this channel what it is.
100%. And as you can see, I am better lit. I have been better lit for a couple of weeks now. That is also thanks to all of you, and I've been able to upgrade some of my equipment. I have a new capture card, so no, I mean, so much of what we've been able to do has been completely thanks to all of you. So we could possibly never thank you enough. Before we go ahead and move on with the news, I know, Derek, you're probably ready to go. I do want to mention something that happened on Tuesday. I was actually
going to bring that up because I saw a question about it.
Yeah, so Adam Davis in the chat wants to know, can y'all tell us more about that Safe on Our World partnership? And yes, I can. I'm glad you asked. So yes, on Tuesday at 8 a.m., we announced this official partnership with the mental health and gaming charity Safe in Our World. And essentially, we have been brought on as one of their official friends/partners. That is them saying they approve of our brand and what we do. They know we're all about mental health, well-being, and outreach and awareness. So they've hooked us up with other content creators who also exist in that space, who believe that mental health in gaming needs to have a spotlight on it, and believe in mental health outreach and support. So we will be doing mental health focused content with some of these content creators going forward, and so you'll see what form that takes as stuff goes up on the channel. But yes, the whole point of this partnership was to be officially sponsored by a mental health and gaming charity, which Safe in Our World is like the preeminent one, so that we can bring more mental health focused content to you all while having the official endorsement of a charity like this, who has actual mental health practitioners and experts and stuff and folks like that in their wheelhouse. So that's essentially what that is. But that's us trumpeting to everyone that, hey, mental health has always been one of the foundational pillars of GVG for all three of us, me, Steve, and Derek. And we all believe and know how important that is. So that will certainly be a focus on our channel going forward. And you can look forward to, open discussion of mental health issues, mental health focused content. So that's essentially what we're looking at there with that partnership. But thank you for asking.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, exactly. I know this was a passion project of yours, and you spearheaded it, Ash. So it's awesome that it's finally up and running.
Yeah, no, I've been lucky enough to work with those folks in the past, and they're really wonderful people. And so when we started GVG, I knew that approaching them with the idea of officially partnering only made too much sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to point out something. Just one of our patrons that doesn't often get to join us is here in the chat tonight. That is Goron Amber, and she said quite a bit earlier at this point that she was she took a week off work so that she could and so she'll be here with us for all 3 episodes this week, and mentioned that she's basically getting paid to eat chicken and watch GVG. So nice. I'm very proud of you. Dude, same. Honestly, same. So welcome. I'm glad you're here for the episodes this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
That's really cool.
We're all very happy you're here, and thank you for joining us and spending some of your week off with us. We know how precious that time is. So thank you very much.
Very much so. All right. Well, I guess we can go ahead and get to the news because honestly, it's kind of been light. It's weird. We've been having so much like news going on, and now not really that much going on.
Everybody's taking a break.
I'd say one of the bigger bits of news that came out today, and it's more of an anniversary because, let's go ahead and bring it up. The Switch is officially 4 years old.
Woo.
It's been 4 years since 2017.
How?
Oh my God.
I don't even...
It doesn't feel like it, does it?
It doesn't.
You know, it hasn't. It doesn't, and it hasn't. Even when people said, oh, it's the Switch's third birthday, second birthday, it didn't feel like it then either. There's something about the Switch that just continues to keep making it feel not old to me, and which is ironic considering the actual tech powering the Switch is the oldest of all the major platforms. But it doesn't feel like this thing has been out for 4 years now. It just doesn't to me.
Yeah. You know, I was thinking back on it, and there's so many games from that first year that I still pick up and play very frequently.
Same.
I was playing Breath of the Wild this weekend, just to hop in there because I still love that game. Splatoon 2, I still play. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I still play. And it really doesn't feel like we're going on what used to be considered the traditional length of a console generation. Usually they used to be 5 years, and then new console. And so the Switch, by old traditional standards, is a very old machine at this point.
Didn't the PS3 and Xbox 360 last like 8 years? That was a long console cycle.
Yeah, until the HD era, generations were about 5 years long. And now it's just, this last gen was 7. And the one before that was 8. So yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. But by any stretch, the Switch is definitely a venerable machine now, which is just a weird thing to think about because I think it is one of those things that kind of defies, age in a weird kind of way. It came out with outdated tech already, and I think we all just fell in love with it so much that it doesn't feel like it's ripe for replacement or anything like that. And it doesn't show its age in a weird kind of way. I don't know how to describe it, but
it is odd, right?
Yeah.
There's some very good-looking games on the Switch. They can still impress. Odyssey looks amazing. Breath of the Wild has a great art style. Some of the vistas in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 are gorgeous, and it's amazing how well the system holds up. Especially when you get the wizards that get like Doom running on this thing. It just doesn't feel possible yet. Somehow it's able to keep up and make its core concept just still feel so fresh and awesome.
Yeah. Dan and Twistle says Luigi's Mansion 3 is absolutely gorgeous. Hell yeah, it is. Paper Mario the Origami King. I think that is absolutely one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen on any platform. The art style just shines with the Switch. And this all goes for handheld mode too. Obviously some games perform better than others, like Xenoblade 2. Xenoblade in general, not the best on handheld mode, but still, the fact that a game of Xenoblade's massive scale runs it all and still looks as good as it does on the Switch is pretty impressive.
Dragon Quest XI runs beautifully on the Switch.
DQ11,
it's not. It doesn't feel like that much of a dip.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really
to me
doesn't.
anyway.
No,
and
Smash. I mean, Smash looks amazing, and on handheld mode too. Like it's just this thing does not look as old as it feels like it should to me.
I don't know how. I don't know how. I think we're going to start feeling it a bit more now that new consoles have started. I think it's gonna come out of feel like that. I think load times are going to be the big thing.
Yeah. So I was going to say, 4 years on, the Switch is still a really impressive machine. It doesn't fail to impress me even after this long. Some of the stuff we see running on it, but I mean, if we're being critical about it, the seams are starting to show. The Bowser's Fury definitely taxes the Switch to its absolute limits. Nintendo has shown that there are games that they've had trouble optimizing. We talked about Link's Awakening recently.
Link's Awakening, yeah.
And how that runs, for a Nintendo first-party release, it runs pretty poorly. And I would argue the same is true of Bowser's Fury. For a Nintendo release, it's not as optimized as Mario games usually are. So I think a big part of that, it is time. Like we're in an era now of 4K, 60 FPS, HDR, and 0 load time. That is a big difference. And I think the Switch gets a lot of slack in that regard because it's portable. And, again, we talk about this all the time. The PS5, the Xbox Series X, they're really, really big by normal console standards even. They're big. But when sat next to a Switch, they're even that much more gargantuan. We're like, oh, look at this tiny little tablet that does so much. You're so cute. And so I think the gaming or the general public gives the Switch a lot of credit and a well-deserved credit. Because it is managing to put out games that don't look bad, even on a 65-inch 4K TV, in this tiny package. It's almost unthinkable, and it's surprising because, NVIDIA has never partnered with a console manufacturer before, to the best of my knowledge, and them and Nintendo, they've just been killing it from a technological perspective. And while I am very happy with what we have, I am at a point now where I'm so excited to see where this goes from here, how this evolves.
Right. Yeah. I mean, as much as I'm still impressed by the Switch, I am more than ready for a Switch Pro. And of course I'll get one of those day one or as soon as I can possibly get one. But I think a huge part of the Switch's appeal and just the how impressive it is, even 4 years on, for me, comes from not just the fact that it still manages to produce games that look good on a 65-inch 4K TV, but the fact that when I use it as a handheld, it still feels futuristic to me, like in terms of the visuals. I know the separation, like the hinges between the Joy-Con and the main unit, they squeak a little. That doesn't feel or sound great. But just looking at that screen, and just the other day I was playing Super Mario 3D World on it, and I know that's a Wii U game, but that's still a really damn good-looking game. And to have that in a portable format on that screen with as thin and light as the Switch is, to say nothing of something like Paper Mario or Smash or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, that really impresses me. Like, this, even 4 years on, still feels like a futuristic handheld to me in a way that's different from something like a smartphone. Like, the tech in the iPhone 11, the latest Android phones, amazing tech, amazing. And I'm sure it's probably more powerful on paper than what's in the Switch. But what's in the Switch still produces some amazing looking games to me in a handheld format.
Yeah, I think that regardless of, like you said, there are some little things about the experience of playing handheld on the Switch that could be better, like the Joy-Con separation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But by and large, it doesn't stop feeling like this impossible thing that you have. When you see a game like and I'll, to get away from Nintendo examples, like Fast RMX, I was blown away by how fast that game feels, how technically impressive it is on the Switch. In handheld mode, I remember, I played The Witcher 3 on this damn thing. It is really impressive stuff. To say nothing of Doom and Doom Eternal being on the Switch. I mean, all of that stuff is crazy. It really feels like, as a Nintendo fan, we have this platform where nothing is out of reach. Anything is actually possible on this thing. And while it may pale in comparison to the PS4 or the Xbox One, or now the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles, I mean, it's easy to write off that difference when you're able to throw the damn game in your bag and take it to a friend's house. You don't have to take a hulking tower with you wherever you go.
Yeah.
Back when we were able to, travel, it was amazing to have the Switch for plane rides and train rides and just pull it out and play whatever you were playing before. You don't have to worry about going to a lesser experience. It's just like, oh, now I'm just playing this game in portable mode, and there it is. It was great. It was fantastic to be able to do that. I think on the train ride back from an event, I was in the middle of trying to review the Crash trilogy on the Switch.
Oh.
And I didn't need a lot of footage or anything like that. I just needed to get a sense of how I was playing. And I had been away all day, but it was the embargo was coming up. I just played it on the train back. By the time I was home, I'm like, okay, I'm good to write this thing up. I just need some footage. That's right. That's really convenient.
Yeah. It is. And I think another thing that the Switch deserves a ton of credit for is the library it's been able to build up, not just of its own current gen exclusives, but I'm so blown away by how many pretty big titles from so many different console generations are playable on the Switch, all in one go. I mean, you've got some PS1 classics, you've got, Dreamcast games and the Grandia collection. Legend of Mana's coming. There's so many collections, Mega Man collections, and I mean, you have so many, all the Sega Genesis Classics collection. Like, there are it's amazing how many hits from different console eras
and
are
so many indies as well. And
indies, many
it's crazy. It's crazy to me that Hades, for as big as it was, has only come out on Switch. Console wise, it's PC and Switch only. Like, it's crazy we haven't gotten it on other consoles yet, considering how much of a just major tentpole that is in the indie scene now. And then, of course, we got all the classic ones, like Hollow Knight that I'm playing now, which is amazing. Right. And heck, even stuff from Microsoft in the form of Cuphead and the Ori games.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's sort of unreal, the amount of games we have access to. Of course, we always want more because we want our Nintendo 64 and GameCube games, but it just goes to show like how much.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when when the Switch was on the way out and we didn't know about what Nintendo was going to do for Virtual Console, I was just like, I'm going to get everything. I'm buying everything again on the Virtual Console. I was prepared to spend so much money to have built up a huge library of these classic games to play on the go. I can't do that, but the urge was there, and they didn't fulfill that urge, but oh well.
Yeah. I think that Nintendo has done a great job courting developers this time around. I think it also says a lot about just the inherent value proposition of the Switch. Because, as aggressive as Nintendo might be about getting folks to develop for it, I also think this is one of their few consoles that doesn't need a whole lot of help to get developers to want to put games out on it.
Right. There's not some gimmick that they need to figure out.
Yeah, this is I feel the level of success Nintendo wanted for the Wii. I know that the Wii sold more units, but the attach rate on the Switch has to be astronomically higher. How many Wiis were sold just for Wii Sports and then
that's it.
That's it. Yeah. Right. I feel like people are buying the Switch because they're, like you alluded to, Ash, the library has something for everyone. Like, you mentioned Mega Man, Derek, you mentioned Final Fantasy. I can get Street Fighter 2 and 3 on this thing. Like, every flavor of Street Fighter 2, including one that is exclusive to Switch, which is just wild. It's just whatever kind of gamer you are, that there's something on the Switch for you to play. You like tactics RPGs? There's Disgaea on here. You like traditional RPGs? There's frickin' Final Fantasy VII, which I never thought I'd see the day.
I mean, now we got 7, 8, 9, 10, and 12 on this system. Let's get 1 through 6.
10 too. Yeah,
and 10 too. Let's get 1 through 6.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still waiting for Chrono Trigger, of course. But yeah, I mean, I think it was someone in the chat, I think Jake Pelka said Diablo 2's coming to Switch. I mean, we're even getting like PC mainstay classics on the Switch now. And it's just wild to me how many great games from every generation of gaming. And of course there can always be more, but it feels like we already are staring at an embarrassment of riches every time we open the eShop. It's just between indies and classic games, the Switch's current gen exclusives.
Now we just need a good way to actually find those games, because there's also a lot of crap on the eShop.
Yeah, and as some in the chat were mentioning, there are issues like Joy-Con drift. I mean, certainly the Switch is not unassailable, far from it.
Not perfect.
Not even close to it. But I do think that what it has been able to accomplish in 4 years, and the fact that it still manages to feel not that old, despite some of those issues like drift, is just, it's amazing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I'm very. I don't think I've ever been more satisfied with Nintendo than I have been this generation. I feel like Nintendo fans are eating really well these last few
They are,
years.
especially compared to the Wii U days. That's for sure.
Yeah. I might be able to say like SNES, but I was a kid and didn't have an SNES at the time. But imagine if I was this age and knowing what I did now about games, like, holy crap, there's so many good games coming out here.
Yeah. I feel like that's probably fair. The SNES was, I didn't get one until several years into its life, but good Lord, like that.
Oh, the
it
SNES.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Nintendo ruled the US market with the NES. And so when they came out with their follow-up, of course, everyone jumped at the opportunity, thanks to the goodwill the NES had. The SNES was, as we all know, an incredible console in its own right. It was
incredible.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo has ever stuck a follow-up as well as they did with NES to SNES. Like,
I think you're right. It's still my
I don't
favorite
think
console
so.
of all time. I mean, it's just the SNES to me was just like, I was also the right age for it. It was during my formative years. I look back on the SNES days so fondly, and I know, of course, that a lot of those games would land differently with a modern audience than they did us growing up. But the SNES still, to me, is like peak Nintendo. But the Switch I think the Switch for me is the closest they've come since, to be honest.
That makes sense.
I agree with that. And now just give us all our retro games.
I know, right?
Right.
Let's play those other games. Like, yeah, they might not hit the same way as the, N64 and GameCube might not have hit the same way, but we still want to play those classics because there's a lot of good games on those systems as well. So
Yeah.
Oh well.
Adam Davis says DS to 3DS wasn't anywhere near successful, but the 3DS was no slouch, and I'm glad you said that because I do feel like sometimes the 3DS gets a little bit glossed over, just kind of in general, especially prior to its relaunch, as it were. But yeah, the 3DS I actually think is a bit underrated, and it's a great system as well. But Akil P says, I don't know about that, Ash. So many SNES games hold up super well, and I agree with you. I'm just saying that I can't claim to know how kids in today's generation see games like that. I can't claim to think that they would see that the same way. That visuals go a long way these days, and that's a bit of a different context for when we were growing up. So I hear you though. I don't think I think they hold up incredibly well these days.
Absolutely. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. Happy birthday, Switch. And let's go ahead and move on to that. Let's bring that up. All right. Capcom has changed. Is it Hong Kong's flag? And I didn't realize. Capcom has changed Hong Kong's flag in the Capcom Arcade Stadium version of the Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo to the Chinese flag. That's yikes. That's what you have here, Ash. But honestly, I'm looking at this, and I've read a little bit about it. It's not the Chinese flag. Somebody colored that in themselves. They just got rid of the rising sun.
No. You know what? This goes to the wrong. Oh, I didn't realize this goes to the wrong Twitter thread. So yes, there is an innocent edit made at E Honda's stage, the background of E Honda's stage as well, but the flag associated with Fei Long on the character select screen has indeed been changed from the Hong Kong flag to the Chinese flag. So,
okay.
Yeah,
now
that's my bad with the link.
See, I went to E Honda. I'm like, oh yeah, they removed the rising sun. And then I was like, wait a second, E Honda's not Chinese. He's Japanese.
Right, he's Japanese.
And they got rid of the rising sun because of trying
to.
Well, that's the thing is it looks like in both these cases they're trying to appeal to the Chinese audience because the rising sun has a not so great connotation with the Chinese. That's
right
with China. It is not great. And yeah, this is definitely them appealing to China by getting rid of the Hong Kong flag.
And like the E Honda stage change is one thing that could be seen as somewhat innocent, but straight up changing Fei Long's flag from Hong Kong to China, not a good look. Not a good look.
It isn't, but that's the thing. You have to. There's so many things people do to appeal to China.
Right.
I'm trying to get that on screen because the image is cropped. Of course, Twitter excludes the change.
Of course. Jacob, you says the game goes for historical accuracy, so there's a fighter from the USSR still. I mean, yeah, Zangief, but Russia isn't as big as China. China is a massive market.
Well,
that you want to be able to appeal to.
I think the point he's making is that this change to the flag flies in the face of that historical accuracy.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Because,
it absolutely does.
yeah,
but it's a business sense because China's a little fickle, and like I believe it was Avengers: Age of Ultron that added some Marvel movies. When they go to China, they have an extra, completely useless 5 minutes of stuff that they have where Chinese people are involved in this the events, and they get involved in they're like, got to show how great China is real quick.
Yeah, I like to remind people on this show and just about everywhere else that corporations aren't your friends. They don't like you.
No.
They don't care about you. They want your money. And there are over 1 billion people in China, and they want their money, right? We've said it on this channel before. If everyone that subscribed to us supported us at Patreon for just $1, we could do everything we dream for this channel and more. Imagine if there were 1.5 billion.
Right.
I'm not defending what Capcom has done here, but when you remember that at its core every corporation is terrible and just wants cash, then you realize, oh hey, okay, of course they're going to change this flag for one of the biggest gaming markets on earth.
I did just post a screen grab, by the way, Steve, in the chat if you want to still grab it, but you don't.
Oh,
need to.
I already fixed it on screen.
Oh, you did. Okay,
everybody. Cool. Yeah. The tweet just below this shows that, of course, while they did this for Hong Kong, they did not modify Zangief's flag to be historic. It's still historically accurate.
And as Ishi Dragon mentions, they don't have to appeal to the 1.5 billion people in China. They have to appease the government, which they have to do that because otherwise they can't sell to the 1.5 billion people in China.
Yeah, China is notorious for censorship and for blocking products they don't agree with. So, yeah, I get it.
They don't get Winnie the Pooh.
Well, yeah,
that's true.
That's because Xi Jinping looks like Winnie the Pooh.
Right. I mean, it definitely, they have to, of course, weigh each business decision, the good versus the bad. And, of course, it makes sense that they want to appeal to the Chinese market. But given the current political backdrop of things over there, it's a shame. But as you said, Steve, it is important to always to remember, for this reason and so many others, that businesses at the end of the day they exist to make money. They don't exist to be your friend. And I think there are ways to make money and do it in an ethical way, or a way that is as ethical as possible, with good faith intentions. But still, at the end of the day, a business isn't a business if it's not making money, right? So that's just kind of what the bottom line with stuff like this. But it really is just kind of an unfortunate thing that Capcom did here, even if it does make an unfortunate business sense.
It's something they had to do, I'm sure, but it's still like, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate.
Yeah. XQ Jonah in the chat says, Steve is now banned in China. Probably.
We might all be at this point.
Yeah, who knows? Good vibes are not allowed in China. You know what, though? That would be, as much as, politically, there's a lot of stuff to dislike about China. On being completely real, I would just love to go someday. I mean, I've seen enough of the country on YouTube that I'm like, man, I would love to just check it out. I would love to travel almost any place. But China is really high up on the list. But yeah, it's
I mean, the country's gorgeous. It's just, it's completely separate from the government.
Yeah, exactly.
Adam Davis brings up an interesting question. It says, do you guys see GVG under that corporate sense, though? I hope not. I mean, certainly.
Absolutely not.
Because, we're not a corporation, so.
Yeah. Well, legally, we kind of
legally.
But, so in everything but the legal sense, I don't think any of us approach this as a corporate entity, right?
No.
We, there are things we could do, things I'm certain we could do right now to make money, that we would not agree with, that we would feel gross about doing. I'm certain that were I to pursue certain opportunities, I could make this channel more money than it's making, but I'd have to compromise my ideals to do that, and I will never fucking do that.
Really good example of that is the way that we turn super chats off for our monthly community streams. You guys are already graciously supporting us on Patreon. We're not going to try to ask for more money while we're streaming and delivering something that we already said we promised you for what you're already giving us. So stuff like that. Yes, we're a business, and yes, we need to stay afloat, but we're not the kind of people. We're only 3 people, right? We're not an entity. and we're not about sacrificing our ethics to just squeeze more money out of you. That's not what we're about here.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
Not paid, by the way, but buy Yakuza 7. We're saying this as I'm wearing this literal corporate stuff.
That's so
on
funny.
top of my head.
That's so good. I didn't think about
I honestly did not. I got the game and I got this stuff. It's just sort of like, hey, check out Yakuza 7, which, hey, it's a good game. So
money, we don't know about it.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
know. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, and the Yikes continues. So, Hogwarts Legacy, in response to all the stuff going on, especially their, what it was, executive producer or whatever it was, I forget, is going to feature a trans-inclusive character creation, despite J.K. Rowling being a TERF and one of its producers being a Gamergate supporter. This is definitely a, hey, ignore this, still support us, help us out. And the thing is, for most of that, most of the developers, it's entirely possible because it's not just one person or one other thing. But boy, Hogwarts Legacy seems cursed.
I love this. I love this so much because in my mind, I just picture like the boss from Office Space walking up to this Gamergate asshole's cubicle, like sipping his coffee. He's like, yeah, I'm going to need you to code trans characters into the game. And he's like, but more beliefs. And he's like, no, just do it. Like,
I love the idea that having to do that, having to include, trans representation in this game is keeping this guy up at night. And should that ever find its way to J.K. Rowling, is going to keep her up at night. Just it gives me life knowing that angers them.
Like, when he gets back home, they're like, how was your day at work? He's like, I had to give people equal rights today. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, this didn't even appease anybody because it is being viewed as the Band-Aid and...
Yeah.
The damage has been done to this game. I just like the idea that it's really irking the shitty people that are working on the game.
Same.
The Schadenfreude is what I really enjoy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad, of course, I'm glad that the option is there. It should be there. It should always have been there. And I'm not going to judge you if you decide to, play this game regardless of J.K. Rowling and everything. I won't be playing it. But I am glad that people who do still want to enjoy this universe can do so with this option included in the game. But I personally just can't. I do love Harry Potter. I've watched all the movies, and it's a shame because it's hard for me to divorce my past love for Harry Potter with what we now know the people involved with it, or at least J.K. Rowling, who she is, and how that's all played out.
Yeah, it's
it's
something else. I've seen some people who do want to try this game saying, "Yeah, I'll just wait till it's used. That way, the money doesn't go to her."
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
That is a great strat. Like, if you want to play this game, buy it secondhand.
Exactly.
Let somebody else give the money directly to the publisher, and then buy it for like $20 at GameStop or something.
Right.
The thing that I'm happy that I have no love for Harry Potter. I don't hate or love the Harry Potter series. I was already in the workforce when it came out, so I stocked the shelves with the book, and I was like, man, people really like these books. I'm gonna not buy it on principle because that's who I was when I was 19 years old. But I get that, my wife loves Harry Potter, my kids love Harry Potter, and it is really tough because you don't know J.K. Rowling's proclivities, or we didn't know that she was a terrible human being until it was too late, right? So many people fell in love with her work, and
I've seen some examinations of her stuff in hindsight, and she does not like fat people. Like, if you look at her writing and how she treats fat people in both old writings and current, it's like, oof.
Oh,
yeah. There definitely, in hindsight, there are some problematic components of at least the past Harry Potter stories. I'm not familiar with her work outside of it, but yeah, it's really unfortunate how all that has turned out. But it's also worth noting that it isn't all just talking about how terrible J.K. Rowling is. Shadow Imposter brings up a great point. can we talk about Warner Brothers not caring about Troy Levitt's background when hiring him?
Yeah.
That's also
Yeah.
a really bad look on Warner Brothers. And yeah.
I mean,
maybe he was able to hide that during the interview process somehow. I mean, maybe it's Warner Brothers just didn't do their due diligence in researching what he's all about. But unfortunately, I think the truth is they probably did research it and just didn't care.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, background checks turn up. Well, I had a friend who was fired from, well, not fired, but not hired for running a YouTube channel where he told really off-color jokes, like nothing racist or stuff that is, but just dirty jokes, like sex jokes, stuff like that. And his, they found it during a routine background check and were like, "Hey, man, you run this really nasty YouTube channel. Can you take it down?" Or else we can't offer you the job. And he was like, "Well, I'm not going to take down my YouTube channel. I enjoy doing it, and it should have nothing to do with my work." And they're like, "All right, well, no offer for you. Fine."
Right.
So somebody hiring someone for a high profile position, developing a Harry Potter game, like something that is going to reach millions of children. They definitely looked into it. I can't imagine a world where they didn't. And the other thing is, if they didn't, and then all this came out, I mean, any company with a good conscience would can the guy immediately and put out a statement like, "Oh my God, we didn't know about this. We're really sorry. He's gone." And I agree that it speaks to the scruples of the folks at Warner Brothers that they seem not to care. And it sucks. And I really want to point out, because so many of the folks in the chat have said this while we've been going over this story, being trans or having the ability to be trans in a game absolutely should not be news. It shouldn't be news.
Totally.
Yeah. It's just, that's the way it is.
Default option. I can't believe I have to say this in 2021. Trans people are valid. All people are valid. And I hate the fact. I fucking hate the fact that that's something that is considered like, "Oh, that you're so progressive, wanting people to exist the way they want to exist."
That makes you an
exist.
SJW. Everybody should be an SJW in the sense that social justice should be, equality should be ubiquitous. Obviously we're all of that persuasion and that mindset, but I'll never understand the line of thinking that allows somebody to be upset that somebody is getting equal rights or is getting representation or just being validated, their existence being validated. That's just, it should not be a controversial thing. It should not be news, but it still is in 2021 somehow. And that just makes me so angry. Like you, Steve, just thinking about it makes me, but it is what it is. What else can you say, really?
It's just, teach the next generation. That's all we can do.
That's all we can do is just make
raise
it better
better
for the next,
people to replace the ones that suck.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
that is the idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is definitely less controversial. Even though that shouldn't be well, never mind. So, First 4 Figures has revealed a life-size Metroid Prime Samus helmet, and pre-orders are now open for it. And, damn.
It looks... First 4 Figures is a lot of really nice stuff, so this doesn't surprise me, but this is a damn nice helmet. And, if I had room for it, I mean, I will want it, sure. They also did an Okami statue.
Honestly, it kind of looks like, I killed Samus and mounted her head, so I'm going to display this, but apparently it comes in standard and exclusive versions, and the exclusive versions basically means it features LED functionality for the visor and dots around the base. Also, the First 4 Figure says that the mount on the base where the helmet rests can now be manually rotated a full 360 degrees, giving you the option to display your base in an X-shaped pattern as opposed to the fixed plus sign shape of the standard edition.
Cool.
And then just even more stuff like there's no sign of how much it's actually going to cost yet, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
I really want to know, can you wear it?
Can you wear it? It doesn't seem like it. It does not look like it.
All right, hold on.
We do know it's not shipping until first quarter of 2022, so it's a year out.
I need to have...
but the base it's mounted on is actually, the design of it replicates the save stations in Metroid Prime.
That's so cool.
That's a cool touch.
Those of you who are considering pre-ordering this, they do have a price up. I just clicked through the pre-order page. They are discounting this thing from $534 US dollars and 99 cents to $484.99. So you can get this thing for $485.
As much as a PS5, and maybe just as hard to get. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I imagine this will probably be a little easier to get because I don't think as many people are going to be trying to get this anywhere near as many people are going to be trying to get this as a PS5. But still, as beautiful as this is, and first four figures stuff is always beautiful, I don't know if I could drop $500 on this. I just don't know if I
don't know if I could drop $500 on a collectible helmet. I can't wear. I need to wear what is it with the collectibles industry and getting iconic characters, making their helmets and making them impossible to put on? I would wear this during sex. I'm just saying. The Samus helmet stays on during sex.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
That's a visual I did not wake up thinking
exactly.
Today.
Moving on, Skull Kid Tiger says that they do have payment plans, so there is that.
Yeah.
Man.
Doodle says you could wear the Doom Eternal helmet, so...
Oh, you could. Man, I actually might need to go get that.
Although, I don't know if you want to wear that when the tagline is rip and tear.
That is also a good point.
Wow,
I will say the Mega Man helmet is wearable. There is a life-size Mega Man helmet that I got that is wearable.
That's a threatening
I will not say
aura.
that I would wear it during sex, but it is wearable.
Ash, come on now. You really want to lie on the show? We know.
Oh,
you've worn it during sex.
Oh man, you caught me there. Yeah, caught me red-handed. Oh God.
Ash just shows up in his chonies, helmet on, Mega Buster on one hand,
in his Mega Man Kini.
Classic Mudkip says goes great with the Mega Man Kini. Exactly. Oh man, this is post-show content, man. This is
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we got to let people know what they pay for on Patreon. You know, we got to let the YouTube audience know what they could get in the post-show.
If you want more of this spicy, hot content, then you know where to go for the post-show.
If you don't support us.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's cool. There's no way I'm spending that much money, but it's cool.
No, it is cool.
Taking it serious for a moment, it is dramatically overpriced. The value proposition, even if it was wearable, I wouldn't pay $500. That's $300 is probably the top I would go for.
I don't even know if I could go justify that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I'm confident you get what you pay for with these guys. I think you absolutely would feel that $500 radiating off that beautiful helmet when you set it up and have it plugged in at all times. But still,
I think I'd spend that amount of money if they got me a recreation of the Vampire Killer, which I don't think has been done, but that would be freaking sweet.
That'd be pretty cool. If I could get like a life-size, realistically weighted, like an actual Keyblade, like one that's like really professionally made as if a Keyblade was a real thing, I might have to drop some good money on that. That'd be pretty cool.
I think for me, the thing that I would be most comfortable spending $500 on is a really, really good recreation of the Master Sword. That too. Like a real, especially if it came with a Hylian shield. Like if it was the combo of the two things, I would be, oh man. I used to own those, and funny story, my car got stolen. I had parked it in a parking lot overnight and gone with a friend because we were having drinks. And so I left my car like a responsible person should, and I got my designated driver's car. They brought me back to where I parked my car, and it was gone. And I called the police. I filed the report. 2 weeks later, they found my car. Everything about the car was completely intact, but the person that stole my car stole my Master Sword and Hylian shield out of my trunk. That was the only thing they took.
That's the only thing. That's terrible.
It really is. They ditched my car. They're like, sweet, I got the Zelda sword from this dork.
Oh man,
left my car.
Suck it, nerd.
Yeah,
I had a similar thing happen. I may have even said this on the show several episodes back, but I had my entire CD book of video game music, like CDs, stolen out of my car during a semester of college, and it was it was one of those thick CD books, and it had my entire hundreds of soundtracks worth of CDs in this book. But and so it hurt, and it still hurts. Of course, it never won't hurt. But I do still derive some enjoyment from the fact that whatever asshole stole my music thought he was getting like this treasure trove of CDs he could probably sell. And then he opens up. He's like, "The fuck is Super Mario, Mega Man, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy? What
Maybe he saw it as like score for me."
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, for us it would be a huge score, but it makes me happy knowing that he couldn't sell any of that.
Mm. Oh goodness. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. All right. Smash Ultimate's Twitter account has revealed that the version 11.0 update is dropping on the same day as the Pyra and Mythra presentation, tomorrow.
Right.
So it's very, very possible that we'll be playing as Pyra and Mythra come tomorrow night.
No.
Because I don't think it's going to be... I think it's coming. If they do drop, I don't think it's going to be directly after the presentation. They'll definitely wait until the typical release time. So...
I will say, for clarification, the translation I'm looking at says delivered in the near future, but that usually means the next day or so, given when... this is for the Japanese Smash Twitter account, by the way, not the Western one. So it's from the Japanese Smash Twitter account, and the translation I'm looking at is that the version 11.0 will be delivered in the near future. But given when they usually tweet that out, that probably does mean tomorrow, or at the very least within the next few days. But I'm thinking it is probably going to be tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I would not be surprised. It makes sense. It feels so soon after Sephiroth. That's the thing.
It does. It feels
crazy soon.
I didn't think we'd get the next character until at least delivered until maybe end of April or mid-April. I didn't expect it early March for sure. So good on them for keeping to such an aggressive development timeline. I know I personally hope that if Pyra and Mythra are dropping tomorrow, I do hope it is at the usual 5 or 6 p.m. Pacific time because, as we've teased before, if we can, we're having a discussion with Rogers Base immediately following the presentation, but we won't be able to do that if they're shadow dropped at the end of the presentation. So we'll see what happens.
I don't think they will be.
I agree with you, Derek. I think it's probably going to be, if anything, tomorrow night at soonest. But hopefully that's the case.
Angel Martinez says Steve and Sephiroth were 2 months apart, so it's not that surprising. That's
true. But when you consider they have 2 more left to deliver before the end of the year, I just feel like, I felt like they had a little grace period in terms of they could push it to April and still have around 4 months for the other 2 characters as well.
Juan, we're definitely reacting to this thing tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we are. Please be there with us tomorrow morning.
We'll react to it, and Roger's doing his own reaction, of course.
Yeah,
and then we'll get together afterwards and share our thoughts.
Right. Physically Coid, I don't know. Do you want to answer this question, Derek? They're asking Rogers Base as the guest for Friday, presumably to talk about Pyra and Mythra, but...
No, Roger's not the guest for Friday.
Right.
Chugga Conroy's the guest for Friday.
Hell yes. So we're going to have
we've secured the 2 biggest Xenoblade fans, so...
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll have a triple dose of Xenoblade Ultra hype between you and Roger and Chugga. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm looking forward to seeing this presentation.
Oh, same here, man. Adam Davis asking a pointed question. Will Ash sleep through it again? No, I am making sure my phone is 100% charged.
The return of Carbed Ash.
I admit it. No. I will not let my phone die and thus not play my alarm again. That was a terrible mistake I made for Pokemon, and that will not be happening tomorrow morning. So you will see me bright and early at 6 a.m. for sure.
You should set your alarm to the "Don't Forget Me" meme from Xenoblade 2.
Oh, God, you're right. That's true. Jared Edinger, Ash, are you really going to react to this at 6 a.m.? You asked that as if I haven't reacted to other characters and Smash things at 6 a.m. That's just what you do when you react to Nintendo stuff.
You get Uber
That's just kind of part of the
coffee.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to do that.
I'm excited though. For me, I like Pokemon, but it's still kind of like a drag for me to have to get up super early in the morning for a Pokemon stream. Smash, I will pay Sakurai to have me be up at 6 a.m. for one of his presentations. That's how much I enjoy him. I enjoy them. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Real quick. I mean, predictions. Who do we, as far as me characters, who do we think is going to be me characters?
Nia.
Yeah, I think Nia's an in. Maybe Morag, more likely Zeke.
I would say Zeke is likely. Yeah. Zeke and Nia for sure. Maybe a Dromark hat, like a Dromark mask or something.
Oh, classy cool. Mudkip, a Cosmos one would be amazing.
Oh, God, Cosmos would be hype. I would totally buy a Cosmos Mii Fighter costume.
Oh, right.
Is Nia
already
in?
a costume.
Oh,
I completely forgot about that.
Okay.
Then maybe Elma. Hey, Morag. I love Morag, so give me a Morag Mii costume.
Yeah, Morag. Yeah, Elma would be cool, though. That would be kind of a nice surprise. Mm. I'm just wondering if there's any chance we'll get some Xenoblade X music. Like, obviously, we're going to get mostly Xenoblade 2 music.
It's hard to say because there's so much Xenoblade 2 and Torna music that they could use. So
that's true, Torna. And we're definitely getting some Torna music, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Melia costume. That'd be cool.
Melia, yeah.
Yep, that's who I was looking for just now. I'm not the most familiar with all the Blade names in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but she was the one I was thinking of that would be good.
Maybe Jin and or Malus for costumes.
Maybe they don't go that deep too often, so I think we'll get one or two Xenoblade costumes. I don't think it's going to be an entire set. I wonder if this will be the time. I honestly, especially after playing Hollow Knight, a Hollow Knight swordsman makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I especially if you get some music for that, because holy crap, there's some amazing songs in Hollow Knight. I fought this guy named Grimm, and his theme is freaking amazing when you're fighting him.
You know, I would love a Hollow Knight costume or an Ori costume. Get some Ori music in there.
I'm sorry, I was thinking of Pandoria is who I'd like as
Pandoria. Costume. That's Zeke's blade.
Yes. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I would love a Pandoria costume. She's one of my favorites.
That would be cool for sure. There was something. What was it? I was going to say for me. Oh yeah, So even though we have Shovel Knight as an assist trophy, and I think that's always going to be super cool, I still want a premium Shovel Knight costume that just comes with just any song from Shovel Knight. Just give me one song from that amazing soundtrack in this game, please. So I would like to see that, and it does feel like kind of a weirdly missing thing. Again, he's in as an assist trophy, but Shovel Knight is like so ubiquitous now. He's in every indie crossover. He's an Arby's now. It just feels like he should have a Mii Fighter costume. I don't know.
I love that is one of the qualifiers. He's at Arby's now.
Hey, you take what you can get, right? That's perfect. Akil P, Smash the Earth, a Strike the Earth remix for Smash.
Ooh, there you go.
That would be perfect.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I saw some people saying Lloyd, and it's possible, but for whatever reason, I don't think they're going to show Lloyd.
No,
same.
I think Lloyd has a decent chance of getting in there. Granted, it'll be the third anime swords fighter in this DLC.
I love it,
but whatever.
Yeah,
screw it.
Well, that would make two more anime sword fighters coming because we already know Sora's the last character. So if we're getting Lloyd and Sora, great. Yeah,
of course. But yeah, as many have said, the assist trophy costumes are totally possible since Bomberman got his costume and he's a assist trophy as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So
all I know is I'm hyped to find out Sakurai presentations, especially since we know that this is the third to last one, likely that we're ever going to get for this game. I'm just going to enjoy it. And just soak up every second because it isn't just about what we learn. It's also about Sakurai's unique presentation style and just how much I enjoy watching him present information about his games because he's so passionate, right? So that's part of it for me is not just the reveals, but just soaking this up because this might be the third to last Smash Ultimate Sakurai presentation we ever get. And that's a sad thought.
Mm-hmm. As Octopuppet mentions, Lloyd and Monster Hunter are the only missing Mii fighters from Smash 4, so they're expecting a Lloyd costume back. They come back.
Yeah.
Could end up with a Monster Hunter fighter would get people hyped as well.
Yeah, I mean Lloyd and Monster Hunter both are certainly higher up on the list of I think potential remaining characters for some people.
Mm. I don't know. I got my Pyra and Mythra, which is my really big. Please let it happen. The only other one I really have left that I think is maybe possible because I'd be hyped as you, Ash, if Sora got in, but I just don't have my hopes where you're at. Sure. I still have hope that Shantae will be our Indian representative and get in there.
That would be so cool.
That would be cool.
I don't know if I see it.
I don't know if it's possible. I know she has decent. I know she has decent traction in Japan, so I'm hoping.
True. My hope for both Shantae and Sora has diminished considerably. I still believe Sora is possible, but I think it's less likely than ever just because of the rumors we've heard about Disney essentially shutting those discussions down. That doesn't mean that Nintendo couldn't try multiple times, and maybe they can work something out. But as it stands, even though Sora is my last remaining like plausible dream character, I'm not as hopeful as I was, last year at this time, or even half a year ago, that he's actually going to make it. But I think there's still a chance, a 1% chance for sure.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to our final topic of the night. Speaking of RPGs, the Chrono and Xeno series composer Yasunori Mitsuda is starting a large-scale recording project next month, but we don't know what it's actually going to be.
Right.
So...
And there's past precedent to be hyped for this, because Mitsuda did, a few years ago, tweet out when he before he started working on the Xenoblade 2 soundtrack, he tweeted out about it. So, of course, this time he's not saying what he's actually working on, but... the exact quote is, "We have a large-scale recording session coming up in April, and the music sheets are scattered all over the studio. It's been a long time since we've had a three-piece band, so the number of instruments is quite large." So whatever he's working on, this man is a genius. He's one of my favorite composers of all time. I whatever it is, I'm sure it's going to be great, but I do hope that it's something that would get us hyped, like a new Xenoblade. I'm not going to say
it could be a new
Chrono,
Xenoblade. The other thing is we've seen that concept art for so long for that other Monolith Soft game that looks a little bit more Western in its design. Maybe finally get a reveal of that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
but I don't know. You have no idea what that is. But yeah, Xenoblade 3. Yes, please. I'll take that.
Right, yeah. Now, he was also the composer for only the first Mario Party. He specifically composed Mario Party 1, so this could be a Mario Party 1 remake, or Mario Party 11 or 12 or whatever the hell it is now.
Oh, that would be
no,
so
of course
funny.
not, but wouldn't it? That would be hilarious.
Yeah. Westegg says, for reference, Xenoblade 2's music was done in the March before it released, 9 months later. So that could mean... ...
Could you imagine, just in a world that Chrono Trigger gets remade and is this year's Christmas game on the Switch, like the big release on the Switch for the holidays is a Chrono Trigger remake?
Chrono Trigger remade by Monolith Soft would be something. It's not something I'd ever expect, but that would be something.
I would be not well. I would have to. I'd have to go take a walk and just get my hype out. I couldn't sit here and just. I would
screaming.
I would be losing my mind if something like that ever happened.
The next episode of TNT, Ash's wall is just full of holes. Just hype punching everything.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
I don't know what I would do. Honestly, I don't want to get people's hopes up, because it's
no, of course,
it's probably not that. Almost certainly not that. But goddamn, if it was, I mean, I'd be happy with another Xenoblade, just because Chronicles 2 was good enough to get me into the series. So I would like to see how they follow Xenoblade 2 up. That would be exciting for me at this point. Anything else? Like I don't really know much of his work beyond that, so I don't really have a whole ton of opinions on this. But I mean, it looks like a lot of music. It's got to be a big project, whatever it is, because that picture that accompanied it was just sheet music everywhere. So,
somebody grab a hold of the music. Look at those sheets and see what the music is. Try to recreate it so we can maybe get a sense.
Right.
Oh my god!
This is kind of a quick. Oh, go ahead.
I love this. Angel Martinez in the chat says, maybe it's a Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans remake. Monolith made that, by the way.
You didn't know that? True? Monolith Soft made Attack of the Saiyans on the DS, which was a pretty decent game.
I had no idea. That would be so hilarious. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, man. Eva Lucario mentioning he also did Kid Icarus Uprising.
He did. Oh. He was one of many composers on Kid Icarus Uprising. He one of the songs he did, which I love, is the boss theme, which is like one of the best songs in that game, which is saying a lot because that soundtrack's amazing. He also did, of course, you said all Xenogears and Xenosaga Episode 1, Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross. He also did the Shadow Hearts games, which if you haven't played either Shadow Hearts 1 or 2 on the PS2, play those games. They're amazing. He also composed a game that I reviewed for Game Explain called Stella Glow for the DS, a tactical RPG. He worked on Final Fantasy 15 Episode Ignis, Xenoblade Torna, or Xenoblade 2 Torna. He did the Versus Marks and Pikmin 2 World Map remixes in Smash Brawl. So he's done a bunch of stuff.
Do you know this off the top of your head, or are you looking at a wiki?
I know a little bit of one, a little bit of the other. I know a lot of it off the top of my head, and I'm just looking at a list.
Because I know you have like a huge knowledge base for this, but you're cranking these out like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's like the first half or first maybe 60% all from my head, and then the last 40% maybe were from this Wikipedia list.
Nice.
Yeah,
man, that'd be something if that's the reason Sakurai is pushing out this DLC every 2 months for Smash. It's like, no, we need to have Kid Icarus for Christmas on Switch.
oh,
That would be cool. I would love to play that game with proper controls.
Yes.
Kid Christmasicus. No, that doesn't really work. Does it?
I mean, that just sounds like the Captain N version.
Yeah. Hey, it's Dingo says, Stella Glow. I never see anybody even know that game exists. Me neither, and I reviewed it. Good game. I liked it. Yeah.
Nice. But we'll have to see what actually comes of it. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow for all that Smash hype, getting in on that.
Yes.
But with that, we've covered all the major headlines from today's news. But before we sign off, we do have to give a special thanks to all of our patrons, big and small, but especially those at the producer tier, for helping to make this show happen. It really couldn't be done without all of you. In addition, a massive thank you to our patrons at the executive producer tier and above. And those fine folks include Jared Edinger, Jonathan Belmare, Brandon Bovia, Rob Arman X, Dan Antwistle, Z Patty, Hyrule Hermit, Sky Blue Flame, Adam O'Sullivan, Richard Herrera, Michael Phone, Floating Mew, Aiko Carroll, Christopher, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Nick Waterman, Kitty Kong Facts, Angel Martinez, Vendron Hotik, Macalau, John, Joshua Hunter, Evernight Studio, Benny Yao, Shadow the Cat, Alicia, Azran127, Ken Roulette 09, Jake Pelka, Giller, Shiny Turkey, Joseph Rutkin, Titus Malvolio, Charlie Bird, Lucky Wonderfish, Top Dog 23100, Young Ben Kenobi, Charles Zaz, Douglas Chomix, Andrew Medeiros, RM M, Brady Power, Phantom 23, Scott Barber, Patrick Harrison, Rocks the Cat, Loyal Dingo, Flaming Highwayman, Sean Garrett, The Legend of Groose, Eddie B, Kai Ed, Kit Fisto, West Egg, Master Lynx, Sean Davis, Deaneth, Jackson Jordan, Michael McCall, Matthew Wong, Ashish Joshi, Goron Amber, Straight Lace, Hoobie, Wolf X Blake and Moon Macarons, Kane, Captain Finlandia, 60 Minutes and 60 Seconds, The Game Orb, Dano the Artist, Synchro Lord, Brainchild, Rosa Bowling,
Hi, Mom.
Dark Umi 87, The Flying Tacos, Scuff 196, Skull Kid Tiger, AJB Cool, and Jason Uloa. Thank you all so much for all the support. This EP squad is as amazing as always, and we really couldn't do without each and every one of you that support us over on Patreon. And remember that you too can become a patron over at patreon.com/gvgaming, where you can watch today's news tonight live for as little as $5 a month. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming for more good times like these. Until next time, good night, good vibes, later from Ichiban.
Bye,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.